Welcome back to the latest episode of the Hawk Insider with Coach Craig Slaughter, brought to you by Texas Bank. I'm Russ Howard. So, Coach, coming off the bye week, I want to do a little bit of a different take on this segment. Give me your thoughts about the season so far, and let's start with what have you not liked about? I mean, and we're 9-0 and dominating everybody. So, is there been anything you don't like so far?
Just nitpicking. I still think in big moments the worst thing you can do is beat yourself, with penalties or turnovers. And again, just a couple of games there, we had what I thought just unforced turnovers. You're going to have maybe some occasional questionable decision or some hero defensive play, but you want all those plays to, completely disappear. And to be honest, they have pretty much, it's always turnovers and penalties, beating yourself. That's just, again, just watching. I watch a ton of football. I watch high school football, college football, whatever football's on TV, and it's just amazing. And in big games, how just doing the simplest things well sometimes is your best friend. And, you just want to make sure you're playing good ball.
Yep. So let's transition to what's gone well, because I didn't realize this until just about, I guess, an hour ago. I was looking up some stuff. This team has scored 35 or more points in 6 straight games and 8 of the 9 games this season, and back-to-back shutouts as well. What do you attribute that to? Why is this team so dominant this year?
One, return so many of those really good players that were such a huge part of, that great team run we had last year. Two, continuity of coaching staff I think is so important. And, and I really mean like those offensive guys, because, I mentioned last week, Launderholm and Landon, were together last year. Well, hey, they were together the year before that, on Thursday nights, So, of course, just the great thing when you have a team loaded with some sophomores, juniors, is those kids put another 12 months in that weight room and, and their growth and things, maturity, and all of a sudden they come back, 20 pounds heavier, they're gotten exponentially stronger. And again, I can't say enough good things about our team's maturity. It's very just, I don't know if there's been a time all year, when I've blown the whistle and, all right, that's it. I'm sick of this. Just the horsing around or something. I mean, it's a very, very mature, focused group. And, again, I think that's a tribute to the leadership you have, a tribute to some of the coaches that work with them, and a tribute to some of the people in that school building, that are selling the same message you're selling about, maturing and growing up. And, again, the whole, their church family, whatever, but those kids that used to maybe come close to getting on your nerves, that they're a different, that they've become a different young man, and they've matured into that young man that you need to go play at a high level.
So obviously we've had a ton of standouts on both sides of the ball, and we're going to talk to 2 of them after this segment as well. So stay tuned for that. But, I think, this is just my opinion, not a coach, just a guy that runs his mouth about football a lot. But I think really it boils down to the performance of both the O-line and D-line, because nothing happens without those 2 units.
No, those guys, both sides. Offensive line, I knew we were going to be pretty strong because we returned that interior core. We knew those island kids were going to have to grow up because, we lost two really good ones. And, that they both really played at a high level. The D-line, not surprised, but just, there's not as much experience on that group. Either experience where they played growing up or experience, in last year on Friday nights. And, that D-line has been a extremely pleasant surprise because they're not just an average D-line, that they are absolutely playing, they're playing as good on that side, I think, as that offensive line is on their side. And that's, it's like you said, when you control those trenches, or when you don't lose the trenches, that's a game changer. And it's just, it lets Coach Launderholm call the game a certain way, lets me call the game a certain way. And again, speaking defensively, I can completely choose my path. If I want to be, aggressive, psychotic aggressive, I can do it. If I want to play a lot of coverage and let those front 4 guys get after, I can do it. It's a very versatile team. I think the versatility is another thing, both sides. Our run game is solid, our throw game is solid, our screen game is solid. We've hit big plays, we've had extended drives, and again, other side of the ball, you really better work to score on us. It's just it's a ton of really good athletes playing the game at a high level, and just again representing our program, and we have huge expectations, and we're currently on the road to accomplishing them. We hope.
Right. Yeah. So just the line. I tried to look this up and got sidetracked because I got ADHD. But I don't even know that Landon's been sacked more than 5 or 6 times this season.
Yeah.
I mean, at all.
No, and again, so many of those completely clean pocket, and again, good for us. After Sweetwater got after us a couple of times, that you've seen a little people play you a little differently, which is good because there's going to be some people, that also choose to attack you like that. So I think they've made us better through them defending us differently. So just that old line, I really think it's only been 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And however many attempts we had, 40 touchdowns worth or whatever it is, so they played the game great. We're super proud of them.
Yeah. So and then again on defense, obviously you mentioned already, but that D line has just allowed that linebacking core to flow to the football, allowed the safety and cornerbacks, to grab those interceptions, put pressure on the quarterback to force bad throws that can, for example, I can't remember right off the top, was it Levi King had the pick 6?
Oh yeah,
several weeks ago? Yeah. So just great play by both lines.
Yeah, and besides the talent, the maturity, man, the unselfishness, there's only one football. I'm so impressed offensively with our kids, and I know you brag about. As you should, doing Reed Robertson things. Hey, that kid is one of our best teammates. When somebody makes a play on the other side of the ball, you can see him on film. He is not if he doesn't have a touch through one quarter, he never puts off the deal of, man, why aren't I getting the ball? He just, and all of them are that way.
Right.
Defensively, that defensive line, the way we play it is, we ask those guys to fit a certain way. So linebacker, floats over the top, exchanges a lot of those things. And again, the way they all work together, both sides, it's why that machine is so strong and why it works. And, again, I think, some of our young kids, we're working on how we do things. And, there's one of our freshman kids, I'm like, hey, you're being a little more selfish than you realize. You're trying to make that tackle. That's really not your tackle. That's your fit. And it's his tackle on that certain play. And they're learning how we play it and how we do it. And again, those guys on Friday night, man, I coached in Wall. Before Wall, I didn't get asked to talk at any clinics. Well, now I get a phone call so often like, hey, we'd like him to talk about what y'all are doing. Well, and it's because of these players you have. Well, man, when you put that tape on, man alive, they're just, again, it's a lot of times that's as good as he can play it. That's as good as he can play it. They're where they should be. They're playing with leverage and angles, and they're magicians. They make you look like you know what you're doing.
Well, I will tell you this, and I know you'll deflect this and whatnot, but the coaching, every single we do these player segments now as well, and we're going to do one again today. But in all the previous ones, every one of them has talked about the coaching staff putting them in position to make plays. So that's kudos to you and your staff.
No, kudos to my staff. Those I hope those kids do realize, the job that those, offensive coaches and all my assistants, do, because you want to put kids in position to make plays, be successful, and our kids, if we put them there, we think they'll do it, and again, proud of them.
All right. Hey, running back to the wide receiver core for a moment, I just thought of something. We talk a lot about Reed Robertson.
Right.
You mentioned that, obviously, but I looked today at the roster before I came over here, and there's really 5 guys, 5 good wideouts. I mean, shoot, when you have Hagan Barbie, it's your 5th leading receiver. He would be a number 1 on 90% of this district.
No, again, all those guys that play that side, they're absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, Gavin Sisson, Slayton Hallmark, Hagan Barbie, Levi King would be a ridiculous receiving core. I mean, it truly would be. We choose to use those guys on this side, but those offensive weapons, it's just, we knew we had a great group coming back. We knew we had a really strong football team, and I told the kids, and again, next week is next week, but guys, our first season's our first loss is ends our season. So our goal is to play till there's nobody left to beat. And you're still excited to watch those kids and that team that you knew could be strong come do exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And just it's a badge of honor for the coaches, for the kids. We're gorgeous Monday afternoon right here. It's you know, it's an honor to come work with those dudes and to come, you know, we're excited as can be. What a great time of year.
Yep.
At Texas Bank, we believe in the power of relationships. Our roots are our customers, the lifeblood of our business. We're more than just a bank. We're your trusted financial partner, committed to building lasting connections and providing personalized service that exceeds your expectations. From helping you achieve your financial goals to supporting you through life's changes, we're here for you every step of the way. Experience the difference of banking with people who truly care.
Welcome back to the Hawk Insider. On this segment, we're talking with two members of both offense and defense sides of the ball, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves and the positions, plural, that they play.
Hello, I'm Bryce McFarden. I'm a safety and a tight end.
Hagan Barbie, and I play safety and slot receiver.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about playing defense versus playing offense. So just so you know, this is take two because, well, I screwed up, so we had to redo this. So these questions are going to kind of sound redundant to us. They won't to you. Offense, defense, what do you prefer?
Defense, definitely.
Right.
Defense as well.
Is it just the opportunity to to hit somebody, lay a hit on somebody?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about on the O side of the ball? I know you play slot receiver, but you also do a lot of those pop passes. Do you prefer that as opposed to running like a go route or a crossing route or a corner route?
Yeah, definitely those quick passes where I can get the ball in my hands fast and make a move and hopefully get going.
Yeah. What about you as a tight end, H-back, whatever? I know we call it so many things these days. What do you prefer, like those little crossing routes, like the one 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, I can't remember, down here on this side of the field, you come underneath, nobody went with you, wide open. Is that the kind of route you prefer, or would you like to run a go route?
I like both, but I also like contested catches too.
So getting in traffic.
Yeah, I'd like to get some of those too.
Yeah. So obviously you're not afraid to stick your nose up in there and block either. I've seen that as well during games. Do you like? I mean, it's another opportunity to hit. Do you like, sticking your nose in there, taking somebody out to let Neil run crazy?
I love blocking. Yeah.
How about you? Would you rather run out there on a go route, or would you rather stick your nose in there and block?
I like blocking, especially the secondary type guys, the smaller, not as beefy guys. So
Yeah.
being able to play with them a lot is pretty fun.
Right. So we're 9 games in now. Obviously, this team has been very dominant. I mean, I don't think anybody coming into this season thought it would be. We thought you'd be good. We knew this team would be good, but this dominant. What do you attribute the dominance? I mean, this quickly to. I mean, is it coaching? Is it? I mean, what is it?
Coaching and preparation.
Right.
Sure.
Put you in the right positions, right position, plays, whatever.
Right.
Definitely being like prepared and just the mental focus we have as a team.
Yeah.
We all have one goal, and their goal is to end in Dallas. So.
Yeah. 7 more games, right? Is that right? 7 more games. Well, after the Stanton game, 7 games following the Stanton game. So, the defense this year, we mentioned, we talked about off camera, we didn't know what we had on defense, right? Obviously, the offense, we knew, okay, we're going to be pretty good on offense. How did you guys get to be so good so quick on the D side of the ball? Was it something you expected?
I expected to be pretty top notch just from Coach Slaughter being our defensive coach.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to have a lot of roles to fill coming from last year's defense, but with how quick we learned and just focused and prepared, I think this defense is a lot better than it was last year.
Right. And I'll tell you, obviously we talk offense a lot, and as we probably should, because, averaging, I think it's over 42 or 43 points a game now. But been very impressed with this defense. I mean, obviously y'all on the back end as well, but both those lines have really stepped up this year. How does that impact your play, both as a slot receiver, tight end, and as safeties, those lines?
It definitely makes you more comfortable while you're playing the game, knowing that your O-line is protecting your quarterback and letting him get the pass off, and knowing that your D-line is filling in the gaps to let us make a play on certain things.
Yeah.
How about
Same
he said.
You mentioned before we went on the air, you mentioned Ben Taylor. Was it Ben we were talking about?
Taylor.
Yeah. So he very, very much an unsung hero on this line, on this defense, because he does that dirty work that nobody else will do or can do. Does that defensive line, that pass rush, free you guys up to flow to the ball better?
It does. Yeah, for sure.
as safeties and whatnot. So how do you stay focused, shifting gears to obviously playoff, because you already clinched the district. We obviously got one more regular season game left. How do you stay focused with the hopefully the 7 games following that? What do you do to stay focused?
Really just taking everything week by week and being prepared for any situation that could come our way. And that's really all you can do.
Just working for that big goal.
Yep, that playing on Jerry World. And I made the comment, and I swear I'll stick by it. When we do make it to Jerry World, I'm going to be sitting there in the stands. I'm and cheer. I'll be the biggest Wall Hawk fan, screaming at the ref as loud as I can, because I'll tell you, I expect it, and I really look forward to it. One more question. I do have to ask this. I ask everybody. Who is the toughest coach on this coaching staff? See if y'all say the same thing everybody else does.
Slaughter. Definitely Slaughter.
Is it just because of the high expectations
Yeah.
and whatnot that he holds y'all to?
Definitely.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously it's having an impact out here. So I want to thank you both for coming on. Apologize for the technical issues, but thank you so much. And we look forward to the regular season final this weekend and that deep run in the playoffs.
Sir.
Right. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment to preview next week or this Friday's opponent.
Friendship being
Welcome back to the Hawk Insider with Coach Craig Slaughter, brought to you by Texas Bank. And I will say in our first segment, I said Slayton, meant to say Stanton, so my apologies. So Stanton, let's talk final game of the regular season. Stanton, make sure I say it right this time. Your thoughts on them?
We're 3-0, and they're 0-3 in district, and I'm very honest with our kids. I just don't want to be the coach that stands up there and threatens them. And we have superior athletes right now. We're going to go work on what we do. We want to be the undisputed 4-0 district champs, and we want to take that step on Friday. I tell you what they do that'll get us prepared. Man, they're NASCAR. They're snapping the ball, and that's good because, again, Canadians done that to us, so it's, you have to work on getting your call in the game, and, you have to, getting kids off and on the field, that's such a big deal. So, and they do a ton of RPO stuff. They're kind of what we do to an extent of, it may be a handoff, or that quarterback may pull it back and rip it down the field somewhere. But, it's there are some things they do that are going to help us, prepare for down the road.
So basically, you got to play assignment football, know where you're supposed to be, and stay. You mentioned it in our first segment about some new kids coming up. You got to teach them what their role is. So that's going to be a good test.
Oh, absolutely. No, again, it's a Friday night in November, getting to be just a magical time of year. And I'm telling you, our kids, boy, you can just feel them turning that dial up. It's just, that they played in so many of these big games and big moments, and it's getting to be that time of year, and we're excited. That's another thing, that we hide a ton of our coverages and we disguise things, and, we're going to work on what we do, in games we'll see down the road.
Yeah. So my only regret about this week is it's on the road. That's my only regret. But yeah, looking forward to it. Any concerns about it being a trap game? Because obviously they're in a rebuilding mode this year. Wall's very, 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 very good. Any concerns about a trap game?
You're always worried about your kids taking the field with just being fully tuned in, because again, trap game or not, I don't want ours having any setback. We're playing the game so crisp and so clean. I just want to go play good football. And again, if we play good football, I feel very strong. I know how that game's going to go. I just want our kids to stay, stay up here. That's how we play. We've found that level, and that's where we want to be at.
Right. Well, Coach, it's been a heck of a ride so far this year. I got to tell you, I have been absolutely blown away by how this team has played this season. Obviously going all the way back. Was it August we did our preseason special?
We did.
All the way back in August we did that preseason special in the studio. We mentioned that, maybe defense isn't going to quite be there yet. The offense is going to have to keep us in the ball game, I think is what you said. My God, Outstanding.
I was bluffing you. No, I'll take it. No, I mean, I didn't know what to say, but I knew, I felt very strongly that we had a strong unit. You know, again, just when you have the athletes that we have to work with, you're going to put a good defense on the field. And, man, you just love seeing it turn into what it's currently turning into. That journey or practice started August 4th. Some of these kids, the journey really started when you're 7 or 8 years old out here, playing pee-wee football or whatever. We have at most 7 weeks left. It's there. I mean, this is November 3rd, and we're hoping to play December 18th. But it's you're guaranteed nothing after this week, and you go show up and you play, and you hope they all get up to play again. And we've been so fortunate, so healthy for the most part, and we're grateful for that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that deep run. Obviously, we got one more regular season game, one more district game, and then obviously look to see what playoff seedings are going to be. Already clinched the district outright, so congrats on that. But yeah, I'm excited. I love playoff football. I love being a long time suffering diehard Dallas fan. Are you a Dallas fan too?
Sadly,
I thought you were too. I think
it's crazy. Like our kids are 17 and 18. They've truly never seen the Cowboys any good.
No.
Growing up in Wall, you're so used to, just you come watch your team win. You come watch your team win some of those big games. Man, there were a couple of diehard kids on last year's team, and I'm like, dude, y'all need to cheer for somebody else. So that's tough. That's tough.
Well, I tell you, my wife kind of gets irritated with me sometimes because I refuse to watch him anymore because I said, I tell her, do you want me to be mad? Do you literally want me to be mad? Because I'm going to be mad if I watch it. So, yeah.
You just keep watching the Hawks.
Yeah, that's what I live for right there. I'm a long-suffering Cowboys fan, but I love getting back on point. I love watching this Hawk team. I mean, this is an incredible season.
Love watching them, man, love coaching them. Just, I'm go home tonight, and man, I cannot wait to wake up and come do it again tomorrow. It's just, it's the best job in the world, the most amazing kids, and again, awesome coaches. And, I know we've talked about those guys. I can't give those guys enough credit. I truly think our coaches, me excluded, are absolutely top notch. I mean, they know what they're doing, that they have a plan. They coach out every day. And again, our kids, we get great kids to work with, but I'm so proud of what the job those guys do too. And just, it's one of those things, you don't want it to end, even if you win them all. I would love to get that, that medal, and okay, who's next? It's just one of those things when you get that amazing group and the community and all the things that we have, it's just, you don't want it to end.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck this Friday night, there in Stanton. I got to get it out of my head. In Stanton, we'll be broadcasting remote from the studio. If you can travel, please go support the Wall Hawks' last regular season game. It will be broadcast live on Concho Sports, but go support them. It's not that far a drive. But, Coach, good luck.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next weekend, and we'll talk playoffs.
Sounds good.
All right.
Go Hawks.
Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time on the Hawk Insider with Coach Craig Slaughter.
At Texas Bank, we believe in the power of relationships. Our roots are our customers, the lifeblood of our business. We're more than just a bank. We're your trusted financial partner, committed to building lasting connections and providing personalized service that exceeds your expectations. From helping you achieve your financial goals to supporting you through life's changes, we're here for you every step of the way. Experience the difference of banking with people who truly care.